here. We're making sure that nothing is going to come down in the studio here.
And it is going for quite a bit, everybody.
Experiencing very strong shaking. Wow. I think we need to get under the desk.
All right, we're going to go to break. We'll be right back after this. Wow.
We're on the roller coaster. Oh my god. Okay. It's still shaking. We're still shaking.
Are they gonna stop it? Or?
I don't know.
No.
Hey everybody, Hooples Cat. Yeah, it's been a heck of an action-packed couple of weeks. I'm trying to do these uploads every week, and so far I've been managing it, but there you go. That huge earthquake, the two earthquakes that they had in California, people are very, very worried there. There's, you know, quite a lot of damage, lots of buildings are down, quite a few towns have been isolated. The Americans have mobilized a lot of American military forces to bring both food into the LA area, into the LA basin, and also to help with the road repair. But yeah, this is a huge calamity for those guys and girls down there. I hope they're all safe. There were reports that people had no water after 24 hours, which is like mind-blowing to me. If you live in an earthquake zone, you'd have at least a couple of weeks water in buckets, in plastic containers, wouldn't you, and food? Apparently not. So there is reports of a lot of people are in trouble. So they're trying to evacuate them, but obviously it's not that easy because fuel supplies have been seriously interrupted. Nobody expected a quake on this size, but hey, it's been 20 years and they have them every 20 years, so hopefully that will be the end of that. The main focus this week for the world was on the G20 meeting in Japan. People were really hoping that would bring good news, but so far no. The Dow's still tanked, the economy's still bad. There's rumours at work now that we're probably going to start laying off next month, and that's going to cause a lot of problems. The Ontario province has not yet done a budget. They've done a series of emergency quote actions, temporary actions. But they haven't actually put down a budget to actually explain to us what they're going to do to get the economy going again.
Hello and welcome to the program. I'm Devika Pollan. Now, leaders of the world's wealthiest economies are in Japan to discuss the biggest challenges to global free trade. The Group of 20 Summit, or G20, has been held every year for the past 2 decades, and the aim is for political and financial leaders to work more closely together. This year's summit is supposed to unite leaders around issues such as free trade and climate change. But trade disputes and political infighting are creating divisions.
And even a fist bump between Japanese leader Shinzo Abe, India's Narendra Modi, and U.S. President Donald Trump, even though prior to their G20 meeting, Trump criticized both. And at a G20 leaders' family photo, Trump was again smiling with Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Also notable during that photo op, Chinese President Xi seeking out Trump in the midst of their ongoing trade war to shake hands. That gesture was apparently lost on Trump.
At the same time as we expand digital trade, we must also ensure the resilience and security of our 5G networks. This is essential to our shared safety and prosperity.
The process of data collection, analysis, application, and circulation will be eased, but we also need to respect the sovereign rights of each nation.
And let's hope for resolving the U.S.-China trade war.
To be an intensification of this trade war, maybe a short truce for a week and everyone can feel good for a little while. But the direction of travel is much more adversarial, and I think we need to read the signs for what they are. And I think ultimately we're going to watch, it's not going to be a George Bush moment, you're with us or you're against, you're with me or you're against me, but it's going to be quite binary.
Of course, two of the most extraordinary things that came out of the G20 meeting was one, President Trump crossing into North Korea to chat to Kim Jong-il. And that shocked everybody, and I think it shocked Kim Jong-il. Hopefully that will end up getting some resolution of that crisis. But the other one was, most of the focus of the international press was on Russia. Russia's economy has actually done quite well from the collapse that's been going on because of their oil wealth and the restrictions that are coming out of the Middle East. Liquid gas and gasoline out of Russia. They're doing very well right now, and the ruble's doing very, very well. And Putin's very, how do I say this, good at what he does. He actually had lots of little swipes about immigration and multiculturalism and liberalism in the West, knowing that right now all of those things are causing severe strains in all of our societies as the economy dries up. Quite smart. Putin, actually, if you want to think about it, he's actually maybe positioning himself for 2024 and American president. Anyway, let's watch it.
Что происходит на Западе? Почему вот в Штатах феномен Трампа, как вы упомянули, случился, да? Что происходит в европейских странах? Отрыв элит руководящих от народа. Есть, знаете, вот эта современная так называемая либеральная идея, да? Она, по-моему, себя просто изжила окончательно. По некоторым ее элементам просто наши западные партнеры признали, что некоторые ее элементы просто нереалистичны. Риск всегда должен быть оправданным. Это не тот случай, когда можно применить известную такую веселую расхожую фразу: кто не рискует, тот не пьет шампанского.
The danger of tensions between, or military conflict risk between a dominant power and a rising power, America, China. Do you think that there is a risk of conflict, military conflict, in your time between America and China?
Ну, вы знаете, вся история человечества связана с военными конфликтами. Я надеюсь, что до этого не дойдет. Я не думаю, что со стороны Китая возникнут какие-то угрозы подобного рода. Но насколько способны будут Соединенные Штаты набраться терпения и не принимать резких решений.
Is there any place, from Russia's point of view, for future arms control agreements, or are we in a new phase and we're likely to see a new nuclear arms race?
Думаю, что такой риск есть. Если этот договор прекратит свое существование, то, по сути, в мире вообще не будет никаких инструментов, сдерживающих гонку вооружений.
What about these countries' economies? How are they going to grow? How can we deblock the WTO discussions? How can we kickstart the discussions? Maybe we can direct these subsidies towards supporting agriculture in developing countries to create more jobs there. This liberal idea is multifaceted. It's quite alluring, I agree. However, migration, which I mentioned, might be a problem. In some European countries, at schools, parents are told that schoolgirls should not wear skirts to school. What about that? It's a security issue, they say. But come on, people live in their own home country. They have their own culture. And why do they have to face such restrictions now?
Because Putin wasn't finished with his tricks after attacking multiculturalism, immigration, and the liberal idea of the West. From a position of strong economic power compared to the West right now, he then decided to chat to Japan, and he called Japan in to talk to him in Moscow when he got back from the G20, because he's upset that Japanese naval units have been around the South China Seas, and also he's specifically annoyed at them for interfering, as he sees it, with the Russian naval exercise that was in the South China Seas with China. And he had a heck of a tactic to put people on edge.
сказали, что хотели посмотреть Юма. Пожалуйста, я вам ее представил. В отличной форме.
Спасибо большое. Она очень действительно...
Of course, with the failure for the G20 to actually come up with any sort of agreement at all to try and reflate the economy, it's had repercussions all around the world. Not much news coming out of England right now, but apparently Barclays Bank collapsed, and there is some scenes that we did get from the internet that shows some of the scenes in London when the bank collapsed and shut down. And I don't know what the British government are going to do about that, but apparently Lloyds is also in a lot of trouble over there. They really are suffering big from the financial collapse.
Oh my God.
No.
I'm sorry, just one at a time. Just keep back.
Yeah.
I've been told to lock your doors.
And I also got some film from one of my subs, Sonny Ray. The American Air Force and Army seem to be getting ready to airlift a lot of men and materials somewhere abroad. Nobody's quite sure where they're going. It doesn't look like it's going to be Iran. That's kind of gone off, so nobody's quite sure what the Americans are up to. It could just be a tactical training exercise, but with the economy as bad as it is, I don't know if they'd waste money doing that right now. Certainly there's a lot of threats in the world right now, and we're all kind of worried. On a personal level, I'm just worried to see if I'll have a job next week or not. Maybe I'll know, maybe I won't. We all think our jobs are vitally important, but when there's no money, the people at the top are going to lay people like me off, and everybody else is going to have to deal with it. Administration. Get rid of administration, right? The only administrator for a hospital for the entire night shift, but we can empower the nurses and pull me out. Anyway, we'll find out. I don't really care anymore. I have got a lot of cash saved up, so if there's a banking crash here, it'll really affect me in the short term, not at all, but in the long term, yeah, it'll change everything. But we always figured that in a collapsed economy situation, everybody's in the same boat, right? Anyway, take care. Hope things aren't as bad for you as they seem to be in Britain, and let's hope that America and China and Russia don't use this economic collapse as an opportunity or an excuse to kill each other, because that'll kill all of us. Anyway, hopefully I'll be back next week. Stay cheerful. Toodles.